Hello and welcome to Metaphors Mondays. Today I'm going to be showing you a metaphor of a client session. In this client session, the client came to me feeling overwhelmed. They had a lot going on and they just felt like there were so many things that they had to do. There was just so many different things and there was always more. Now, this is what it was like for them. All right. Who knows which way it's reflecting? This is what it was like for them. But what I'm going to do is we're going to break this down and I'm going to show you what sort of came out of the session. So let's jump in. So in this situation, she's got boxes to the left, 50 plus boxes, some open, some closed. To her right is a lot of grass. In front of her is like a metal stamp that's being held off the ground by like a machine. In the background are lots of people, lots of buildings, and she's standing on the middle of this big sheet of glass. Now, this sheet of glass is covering a body of water, and she's wearing boots. Lots of great details. So if we look at this person's situation, there's always more left for her to do. There are things that are open that are left. There are things that are closed that are left. If anything, everything that's left for her can be packaged in some way, shape, or form. Some things left are a little bit empty, and some haven't even been addressed. But the point is, it's quite a pile of things left for her, and she's definitely right about that. Now, what actually is right for her is space. A lot of space. Essentially, there's a field that's left for her that she can explore. But if she was to explore, what was right for her, but if she was to explore what was right and go in the right direction, she'd leave all the stuff behind that was left. Now, she could try and progress, but there's a big stamp blocking her. She can't really move forward. Now, she could try and go under it or go around it, but I don't know if she's looking for some sort of stamp. Some people might even say a stamp of approval or a mechanical way of looking at things that gives her this sort of stamp. But realistically, if she's going to progress, she could only progress so far before she meets some kind of resistance. Now, in the background of this, there's lots of people. There's lots of people in her background, but they're all also looking at her. There's also quite a lot built up in the background to this. But what I find really interesting is she's on a sheet of glass over some water. So she's in a bit of a precarious position. If she took a step wrong, she might find herself going into it. And I don't know if you've ever stood on glass or watched a movie where someone's standing on like that sheet of glass. It makes this sort of really awkward sort of noises. So she could go down, but not only could she go down, if she was to break through, if she was to have a breakdown in this, it would be quite cutting, quite painful. She could end up bleeding out, but realistically, she'd be in the middle of it. But at the same time, it's this level of support and understanding that she's got, pretty transparent to be honest, that keeps her stable in the position she's got. Now, what's quite interesting, if we look at the sort of distribution of information here, there's a lot of stuff left. There's a lot of stuff in the background. There's not really much right for her. So I see this as the sort of person who has got a lot going on in their business, their personal life. And how do they deal with this? How do they try and cope with this behavior in real life? Well, if they do the right thing, they relax, they go into nature, basically just have open space. So by going in the right direction and having that space, they actually don't have access to the other things that, and then when they come back, they're in the same position with the same amount of stuff, if not more. Now, this person's in the middle of this body of ice with a circular bit of glass. So in that environment, everything else is outside of that. In that environment, she's actually stable. She's secure. Now, it might seem quite strange, but by her moving her position, it puts in jeopardy the level of support she's got, the level of understanding she's got, because any step in a direction, she could go great through, she could go straight into it. She's also wearing boots. So for those who have done the Metaphors of Movement Levels 1 and 2 training, we know what boots represent, partial containers. So we know that this is a lifelong problem. So this person has always had this problem of overwhelm. They've always had so many different things that they've got going on and always felt overwhelmed about it, because that's who they were in the family. They're the person who's always got stuff going on, always opening things, always going through things. But they're the sort of person that struggles to take steps, because if they take too many steps, they're going to lose the current support they've got. And there's no going forward because that way's blocked. Going right doesn't deal with the issue. She's got enough things supporting her in the background. So this is an interesting thing to consider. After we did the interventions and after we did the work on this specific metaphor, the person was left feeling, well, maybe I don't have to do everything. I don't have to do all the things that are left for me. I can just take different steps and that's okay. There are so many deep lessons of life in this work. So be sure to check out next Monday for the Metaphors of Movement, or if you're catching this later on YouTube, enjoy it there. This is your Daily Dose with Dale. This is Metaphors of Monday, and I'll catch you at the next one.